Have you heard that consistency is key? Have you ever wondered why? So I want you to picture the following scenario. You are out driving. You were either heading to a really great destination or you were just out enjoying the drive, cruising around, and then bam, you are in traffic. And you are stuck there, stopping and starting, and then stopping and starting. And now I want you to think how you might feel if your life was like that, if it was constantly stop, starting, and what some of the impacts might be. Here's a few things to consider. The first is, have you ever had to push a stationary car or overcome a very heavy weight or push a weight sled at a gym? They're becoming increasingly popular. And did you find it that it was more difficult? You had to put in more effort to get that weight started? Did you have to really strain and push and push and push and push, and then it gets moving and things get a little bit easier? That is referred to as inertia, which is basically a fancy word for things are resistant to change. So things that are stationary are more likely to stay stationary, and things that are moving are more likely to stay moving. Now, obviously, that's from a physical point of view, but there's also a mental aspect for to consider. Now, have you ever tried to change a long term habit of yours, or maybe you've tried to convince someone to change a deeply held belief, such as the sports team that they cheer for or the political party that they vote for? In those instances, you probably would have encountered inertia, things being resistant to change. And now I want to talk about lawn care. Now, when I was younger, I was early teens, I was made responsible for maintaining my family's lawn. Now, the rules were simple. Every Saturday morning, I had to mow that lawn. And I absolutely hated mowing the lawn. Didn't like it at all. And one Saturday, I woke up and I looked out and I was convinced that the grass had barely even grown a millimeter from last weekend. It was dry. I think bits of it were dead, honestly. And I was like, yes, don't have to mow the lawn this weekend. However, my parents didn't agree. They were like, no, you have to mow the lawn every Saturday, every week. Those are the rules. It will build character. And I was like, this isn't building character. This is just kicking dust up all around the yard. I'm like, I'm wasting time. I'm wasting petrol. I'm wasting money. And I pleaded with them to would they just think about the environment. I was like, think about global warming, hole in the ozone layer, the polar bears, the melting ice. I'm like, and we're just wasting this petrol for nothing. Fortunately, I didn't get grounded. And looking back, I think I was also very, very lucky that they didn't make me mow the neighbor's lawn too. So I continued mowing that lawn every weekend. And then we went away on holidays, and we were away for 6 weeks. And while we were away, no one was mowing the lawn, and it rained. It rained a lot. So when I'd left that lawn an absolute dust bowl. When I came back, it was a jungle. It had been reclaimed by nature. And now I want you to picture the scenario I had to go through reclaiming the jungle and winning that fight back. So the first thing was first, I couldn't get that mower started. It had been 6 weeks where it hadn't been used, and no matter how hard I pulled on that chain, I just couldn't get it started. And time is ticking, and I'm getting frustrated, and I'm getting angry, and I begin to wonder whether I should just burn the yard down and start from scratch. And then my dad came out and he got the mower started for me. And then because the yard with the grass was that thick, when I went to mow it, the mower would stall. So my dad came out and said, look, this isn't going to work. What you're going to have to do is put the mower up as high as it can go, mow it, and then rake those clippings up, put them in the compost, and then just continually keep dropping the level of the mower until you've got the grass mowed. So I went through that process, and it was time intensive. It took me a long, long time. Now, would you think that if someone had mowed the lawn every week while we were away, that I would have had to spend that much time and effort to fix everything up? And do you think that if I added up all the time they spent each week, 30 minutes, whether that would be more or less time than how long it took me to mow the lawn when I got back? So the moral of the stories is, drive fast, don't stop, and pay someone to mow your lawn. But in all seriousness, I want to wrap things up now. And just think about this. If it's going to be harder to get things started once it's stopped, might we be better just slowing down instead of stopping? And I understand that sometimes things can be difficult. We face challenges, and it can require more effort to keep moving. And I just want you to consider, if you do stop, is it going to take you more effort in the long term to get started again? Is it going to, and perhaps if you leave that too long, is your mower not going to be able to start? So perhaps there is something to consistency is key. What do you think?